Okay, well, this is a very exciting and I guess unusual video. Justin Trudeau has spoken to the media about actually thinking of resigning. He is under a lot of pressure and stress from his job of constantly failing, and now with the release of his ex-wife's book, which is kind of the nail in the coffin, the timing of it is pretty good, and one would even say, mwah, impeccable. Welcome back to another video, everybody. I can't believe I'm about to make this video, but Justin Trudeau literally is thinking about leaving his job daily. So very exciting. Before we get into it, I want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel, as well as I hope you consider turning post notifications on to actually add a layer of insurance so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. We're almost at 400,000 subscribers, which is very, very incredible. And speaking of incredible, I do have a incredible deal for everybody watching. Limited time. Like I've said, it is coming down at the end of the month. 20% off a sticker bundle. If you haven't yet gotten yours, you get all 5 of these stickers. The link is down in the description or the pinned comment below. I like them. I even have one on my microphone. Without further ado, let's get into this video here. Pierre Poilievre needs to give a raise to his editing team. Wonder Why You're Broke is the name of this video. Let's take a look at this here. This is pretty funny.
It does require putting a price on things right now so that we can set ourselves up for success in the future. And that's an easy
almost said
thing
failure.
For short-term politicians, short-term thinker politicians. Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn. You'll forgive me if I don't think about monetary policy. If you use your credit card to go back to school, or if you use your credit card, you go into debt to build an expansion on your house that you're then going to be able to sell your house for more. If you're making investments that are going to return, that is how you grow a strong economy. And the budget will balance itself.
Trudeau's not worth the cost. This is from the actual Conservative Party, the opposition party, the leader of the opposition party's YouTube channel. I can't believe this is all real things, but Glenn, interest rates are at historic lows. That is a just chef's kiss of a failure, is it not? Oh my goodness. The Prime Minister of Canada got caught telling everybody, go spend money, go get yourself in debt, because money has never been this cheap to borrow. A little bit of time has gone by. It turns out that was a horrible decision. And I know a lot of people are suffering, and I don't mean to come across as insensitive to the issue, because it is debt and it's putting a lot of stress on almost every single Canadian. But if you can't laugh at it, we're just going to cry. So everyone is in a very similar boat here, which is horrible. But we do have some good news. David Menzies, part of Rebel News, who recently got arrested, has been let out. This is from Karima on X.
We're outside 51 Division on Parliament Street. I went inside and spoke with the officers, who said that David Menzies has been released out into the wild. So I guess that's that for this evening.
Yay, good job, Rebel News. That is awesome. Awesome to see an actual journalist who's out on the ground, who got wrongfully arrested, it seems, now is released. And speaking of released, Justin Trudeau is not only being encouraged by his own intrusive thoughts, I suppose, of quitting, but you also have the leader of the opposition's wife, Aneda Poilievre, who says, Mr. Trudeau, you can quit. Our family is ready to fight for Canada. What an awesome, supportive wife. She's obviously quote tweeting and replying to Pierre Poilievre's tweet saying, whenever I think we have it tough, remember the extraordinary people that carry the country on their shoulders. The nurse, the waitress, the plumber, and yes, the trucker, who are suffering more. If the job's too tough and boring, Justin, then get out of the way.
Embarking on this journey is not an easy task, and it requires great sacrifice for us, for our family. Being away from our babies has not been easy. So let me tell you that we would not be doing this if we didn't believe that this is a necessary fight to take on for our children. But whenever I think we have it tough, I remember the extraordinary people that carry the country on their shoulders. The nurse, the waitress, the plumber, and yes, the trucker, who are suffering
Look at all that support, man. Incredible. You're not only getting a very intelligent man like Pierre Poilievre, who's running for prime minister, but also his wife seems to be very intelligent and can carry her own. So great job to Canada's next power couple leader. Fingers crossed that it actually goes that way. And now we're going to get into Justin Trudeau's actual own comments. This is unbelievable, folks. I can't believe this is real. This is reported by the BBC. Canada's Justin Trudeau says he thinks daily about leaving crazy job. Oh my goodness. Fingers crossed that he actually does resign, man. That would be just absolutely incredible. Canada's Prime Minister says he frequently thinks about leaving his crazy job, but plans to stay through another election. Now, it's kind of contradictory because he's not really looking good in the polls. Anyone has access to these polls, right? 338 Canada is showing that Conservatives are 99% likely to win. And as well as his ex-wife, Sophie Gregoire, who I made a video about this yesterday, is coming out with a book at the end of April, I think 24th or 28th or something like that, which I thought maybe for comical reasons, it would have been great for her book to come out on April 1st, just like the carbon tax. Trudeau screws over Canadians and then Sophie screws over Trudeau. But in there, she says that along the lines of she's escaped Justin Trudeau for her mental health, and that's why their marriage has led to a collapse through divorce or separation and then divorce. So let's take a look at what Trudeau's said here in this BBC article. Justin Trudeau has faced growing questions about his political future, with polls suggesting he is increasingly unpopular among Canadians. I wonder why. In an interview with broadcaster Radio Canada, Mr. Trudeau also spoke about his personal sacrifices on his job. Canada's next general election must be held by October 2025. Okay, so this is a horrible thing for any leader of a country to do. Mr. Trudeau also spoke about his personal sacrifices on his job. I'm sorry, but you are screwing over 40 plus million Canadians. People are in debt because you, the Prime Minister, have told millions of people in Canada to go borrow money because, Glenn, interest rates are at historic lows. Okay, so for him to then complain about literally anything, nobody is going to have any sympathy or empathy towards that situation. You have tried to prop yourself up like a god amongst men, and you're not. You're a public servant. And for you to complain about literally anything, it's only going to add more fuel to the fire that you have created. So not a very good look. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Pierre Poilievre has complained about anything of his own personal life or his job. He's complaining about policies that are in place that are hurting Canadians. So that's the approach that people want and would rather hear than, oh my God, my job is so tough as Prime Minister and like nobody will understand the struggles and the sacrifices that I've made. Yeah, you've pissed off 40 plus million people. It's not a good look to complain there, buddy. Yikes. Opinion polling in recent months indicates that Canadians are feeling a growing dissatisfaction with this government. Spurred by frustrations with issues like housing affordability and cost of living. The governing Liberals have been trailing behind the Conservatives, the main opposition, often by double digits. Concerns that the Trudeau brand might be a drag on the Liberal Party's fortune has led to speculation in political circles that Mr. Trudeau may be eyeing the exit, and even some allies have suggested it's time for him to leave. The best possible thing that Justin Trudeau could do, before we continue reading the article, is for him to say, I have failed Canadians, I have failed myself, and I have failed my family, and I'm taking a step back to reflect on my actions and to grow as an individual. That would be just that one sentence would be like, Liberals, if you're watching this, anyone from the Liberal Party, just release that press conference, take accountability, apologize, say you're sorry, and move on and go spend time with your kids and stay out of politics, because you're really not doing anyone any good. You're Like, his polls are horrible. And if the Liberals, and I hate to say this, but there is no chance that the Liberals will win any election in the next 10 years if Trudeau is the head of it. And I'm not trying to say that the Liberals should do X, Y, and Z so that they can be in power. I think that the Liberal ideology is wasted. It's gone down the toilet. It's so far to the radical left that it's not even left anymore. It's just radical. And so even if Trudeau does step down, you're going to have another prime minister in place, like Mr. Speaker, Chrystia Freeland. And I mean, who's worse? Who would be a worse prime minister, Justin Trudeau or Chrystia Freeland, as a default of Trudeau stepping down? I don't know. The only female the only female prime minister. See, I already associate conservatives with being prime minister. The only female prime minister was Kim Campbell, and that was for about 2 minutes, right? So, is it going to be better if Trudeau steps down for the Liberal Party? Chrystia Freeland takes his place, and all of a sudden you have a second female prime minister, and then they start trying to use the radical left ideology to say, hey, look, we need to actually elect a female prime minister at the next election. Would that rally more votes? I think literally anybody could rally more votes than Justin Trudeau. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, because the longer he stays in, if he actually tries to run in the next election, Justin Trudeau is who I'm speaking about, of course, then he's going to lose. If they replace him with somebody else, such as a female, even if it is Chrystia Freeland, the Wicked Witch of the North, she might actually get more votes. I think anybody could get more votes than Justin Trudeau at this point. So that's the double-edged sword that Canada's currently faced with, is we want Trudeau to resign, but anybody else who is in his position, whose name's going to be on the ballot, might actually get more votes. So I don't really know what to say, but I do know that I think it's best the Liberals just step aside and let somebody else, another party, try and fix the mess here. And that's what the people want. The polls are showing that exact thing. In a 24-minute interview released on Friday with the French language broadcaster, Mr. Trudeau said, I would not be the man I am and abandon the fight at this point. I could not be the man I am and abandon the fight at this point. I think about quitting every day. It's a crazy job I'm doing, making the personal sacrifices. Nobody wants to hear that. Saying shit like that, his PR person, his rep, his media person failed him in training, saying, hey, Trudeau, you're ruining this country. The polls are bad. Do not talk. Don't go for empathy points about your own personal struggles. Nobody cares. Yet he still did. Says a leader who has been in office since 2015. Of course, it's super tough. It's super boring at times. That's something that everyone wants to hear. The man who is single-handedly screwing over our country and making your life, my life, our lives worse, says that it's very difficult for him to screw us, and it's boring. He's bored while screwing us. He's bored while taxing us. He's bored while taking $160,000+ out of our taxpayer fund to go on a trip to Jamaica. He's bored inviting a Nazi into Parliament here in Canada. He's bored laundering millions of dollars, $60+ million to a Arrive scam. He's bored being the Gestapo. He's bored abusing his power and turning Canada into a police state. He is bored, yet it's so difficult for him personally. You see how bad that sounds? That's very bad. Nobody wants that. Nobody, even liberals, should be looking at these press conferences, these releases by mainstream media like BBC, these interviews that Trudeau's doing where he's complaining about his own crap, saying it's boring sometimes and I'm having to sacrifice so much. Liberal voters, hello, wake up. Stop it. Stop it. You're constantly supporting somebody who is bored while screwing you and taxing you to death, right? When you go and you buy your groceries and it's 25% more expensive than it should be. When you go and fill up your tank of gas and you're like, maybe I won't put it all the way to full because I got to buy some eggs and some bread for my family. And I also have to pay rent. So maybe let's just drive a little bit less this month so I can afford everything else. While you're doing all that, while you're crunching pennies, which we all are, he's bored. He's bored doing that. He's bored implementing taxes to screw us. Boy, oh boy. That's I'm pretty angry if you can't tell. Last year, Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, announced they were separating. They have 3 children together. Mr. Trudeau came to power with an impressive majority election victory that ended nearly a decade of Conservative Party rule in Canada. But support for the Liberals has eroded over 2 subsequent elections. His minority government is currently in a so-called supply and confidence agreement with the NDP. Yeah, more like a coalition is what it's called, but sure, BBC, where the left-leaning party supports the Liberals in key votes in Parliament. Mr. Trudeau, 52 years old, said Friday that he entered politics not to be popular, not for personal reasons, because I want to serve and I know I have something to offer. Well, Mr. Trudeau, you certainly are not popular. We don't care about your personal reasons or your personal life. You're leading a country. Couldn't care less about your issues when you're in charge of 40 plus million people, and you're not doing a very good job of serving people, and you have literally nothing else to offer. The most noble thing for you to do is to step down. The choice that Canadians will make in a year in the election will be so fundamental. And it is very easy in politics these days to attack attacks, to attack concrete measures, he says. Buddy, people can't afford food. And your idea of fixing the country is taxing people, that's just wrong. And I'm not the only person that agrees. You have a senator, Leo Husakos, a senator from Quebec, who says, interesting, Canadians on a daily basis also thinking, when will Justin Trudeau leave? Canadians want to leave the memory of his fiscally and morally bankrupt government in the dustbin. So you even have Canadian senators that are saying, yeah, buddy, it's time for you to go. You have the leader of the opposition party, Pierre Poilievre's wife, even saying it's time to go. You have Mr. Sunshine Baby saying it's time to go. Even Justin Trudeau is saying, I think about it's time to go every single day because my life is so difficult as Prime Minister of Canada. You even have India Today. It's just the news is all over the world, man, saying Trudeau is thinking about quitting his job. He thinks about it daily. Buddy, if that's the case, then just leave. Just leave. Look what he's doing to our country. I mean, Trudeau is at this is from the other day, where he's at a affordability conference. Okay, he's at an affordability event where they charged over $1,700 per plate. It's an affordability event where it's not even affordable for people to attend. And this is what he provided outside. The Gestapo. All of these police are there to stop the Palestinian protesters from entering or getting too close to this unaffordable affordability event. It's so ironic. It doesn't even make any freaking sense. And it's not only federal politicians that are pissed off with this. It's not only us people, the taxpayers that are pissed off with this. You also have the Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, who told Justin Trudeau that scraping the scheduled increase to the carbon tax would be a political win at a time when the Liberals desperately need one. You can go look at the article on True North's website, and we're going to take a look at this video clip here.
Good, very good. A little chilly. Either of us is good, yeah.
Okay.
How did the meeting go?
I would say we focused on areas where I think we do have some common ground. As you know, I've been trying to get the federal government aligned to our 2050 target to be carbon neutral. And we've had some good projects like Air Products and the Dow Chemical. Those are net zero projects. We're working together on Heidelberg, which would be net zero cement. We still have some issues. We're waiting to see the budget, whether there is some clarity around the investment tax credit for the Pathways project, and if there's support for a national Indigenous Opportunities Corporation, similar to what we have, so that we can assist in getting the Trans Mountain Pipeline into private hands and Indigenous hands. And then we also have a massive opportunity for export of ammonia to South Korea and Japan. And I just wanted to make sure that we don't lose that opportunity. We need to see a signal from the federal government that they're going to be supportive of that. And I also told him it'd be a political win if he paused the increase in the carbon tax on April 1st.
There you go. I mean, everybody is offering Trudeau advice, even opposition parties, opposition ideas, and even Mr. Sunshine Baby is saying, yeah, man, I think the best thing you can do is scrap this tax because it's really not looking good and possibly step down. And I can't believe that people that are literally running against Justin Trudeau are giving him and his party advice. But this is the weird, bizarre world that we're living in here in Canada. When you see somebody who's literally drowning through self-sabotaging acts, it's like, yeah, you kind of want to help them, even if it is Justin Trudeau. But I don't know. I think that he's solidified his own fate, and now what's that saying? He's made his bed. Now he has to lay in it. So that's where we're gonna end today's video, folks. It is definitely done. It's the end of times for Justin Trudeau. It's just a matter of time. He's just counting down his days. But somebody give that man a box to pack up his things in his office with, because he's not going to be there for much longer. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'd like to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. We are very close to 400,000 subscribers, and the only way we can get there is if those who are not subscribed actually take the leap of faith and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.